Once again, I welcome you all in our online platform ICSE, CBSE, WBSE Solution Group Prudence Coaching English class. Today we are going to discuss all the important question answers from the chapter Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. All the question answers are very much aptly written so that it can give you the full marks from this chapter. So without any delay, we will start this video. So keep watching and keep liking our videos. Students, your little like will give us a lot of motivation for making this learning video. So let's start. The first question is from Understanding the Poem. Answer this question number 1. Where does hope reside? Answer. In the poem Hope is the Thing with Feathers, the poet has personified hope in the form of a little bird. According to the poet, this hope resides means lives in the human soul. Now the next part of the question. Question number 2. If hope is a bird, what do you think is the tune that the bird sings? Answer. The poem itself is an excellent example of an extended metaphor. Here, hope is compared with a little bird. The bird itself is an emblem of inspiration which gives us motivation of doing all difficult tasks. So the poet tells us that the bird perches on the human soul and sings melodious songs which have no words or diction. The tune of the song is our strong feelings that originates from our soul and helps us to overcome all obstacles. So this is the ending of the question number 2a. Now 2b. How does this tune affect its listeners? Here affects means influences. Now the answer. This tune affects its listener greatly. Here its effects. Hope keeps singing relentlessly means continuously, which provides motivation to its listeners to overcome all the hurdles of life, such as the terrible gales and the sea storms. It keeps its listeners calm and steady, even in the atmosphere of chaos and disorder. So, students, you can see we have written the question answer completely in our own language so that it can be taken as an unique answer, and only this type of answer is expected by the examiner. So you can see this is very much important for the exam point of view. So let's discuss the second question, that is, which line in the second stanza talks about how the bird makes people feel? Here the answer is the line that kept so many warm in the second stanza talks about how the bird makes people feel. Students, while you are quoting any specific line, then you have to mention these quotation marks because we are quoting the line from the text. Now we'll move to the next question, that is to see what is the speaker saying about hope when she says that the bird never stops singing. Now here is the answer. When the poet says that the bird never stops singing, she means that the hope is omnipresent. Omnipresent means it is present everywhere, and so it doesn't require any specific time or situation to act. It resides means lives within the human heart or soul, which acts immediately when we face any kinds of tough situation before us. Now we'll move to the next question, that is number 3. When does the tune sound more comforting than ever to its listeners, and why? Here is the answer. The tune sounds more comforting than ever to its listeners in their extremely difficult times. Now, this is the second part of the question. When the heart's gale starts to blow, life becomes more challenging and full of disturbances. It soothes its listeners with its sweet touch. Consequently, the tune sounds more comforting than ever to its listeners. Now, the next question. Number 4. Is hope hard to upset or disturb? Which lines from the poem tells that? Here is the answer. Hope never gets upset or disturbed. The lines, yet never in extremity, it asked a crumb of me, tells us this. So students, as you can see, we have quoted these lines from the text. So we have mentioned this quotation marks for quoting the line, and here this is the forward slash which has been used to separate two lines from the poem. So I hope you have understood everything and you will maintain this pattern to get the full marks. Next question. the next part of the question, that is from here to here, it explains our cause of choosing this answer, and you must have to provide this. Without giving this you will not get full marks. So let's discuss this as well. It is in this context the poet says that she finds the bird singing incessantly, mean continuously, in the very difficult time of life. In this poem, the bird is the agent of hope that remains within a human soul to help us to overcome all the problems of our lives. So that is the next part of the question. Now 5. Which lines from the poem tells us that the speaker has found hope in the most desperate circumstances? Now here is the answer. The lines "and sweetest in the gale is heard" and "sore must be the storm" tells us that the speaker has found hope in the most desperate of circumstances. Now the we have to explain some part of this question. We have to provide reason for choosing this answer. Here it is. Here the poet tries to convey the message that when we interact with the dangers of our lives, like the terrible gales and storms, then at that time hope strengthens us with its sweetest touch. Now the next question: what is the emotion expressed by the speaker in the last two lines, and why? Answer: the poet has heard the birds singing melodious songs continuously in the hardest times of our lives, when our lives seem unbearable and when we feel depressed or disturbed extremely. Now, the next part says, the hope remains forever within our soul and makes us stronger to face all obstacles of our lives without asking for anything in return. The poet says so to show us the eternity of the hope which is omnipresent. Hope remains within us forever and even in the hardest time of our lives too. So finally students, we have discussed all the question answer very briefly and very appropriately. So I hope you have find this video very much helpful. And students, our last request is that if you find this content helpful, then don't forget to subscribe, share, and like your videos. Have a nice day, students. Thanks for watching our videos. Keep learning, keep enjoying this content, and your little motivation will give us a lot of things to provide you. Have a nice day, students. Goodbye.